Hello, chat. Sorry to start the stream that way, but I thought it would be funny. Welcome to the stream. I'll wait for people to roll in before I do soda review. I do have soda. I went out and bought a couple sodas for soda review today. I didn't go out specifically for that, but I was like, I'm out. I might as well get sodas. Because I ran out of soda review sodas. Watching from SA, is that South Africa? Or San Andreas? Or San Antonio? It could be any of those. What about donut review donuts? I didn't go past the donut place today, so donut review will have to wait until a different stream. I'm sorry. South Africa. Neat. I know one person personally who is from South Africa. Excuse me. Watching from GTA San Andreas. Carl, what you been playing recently? Since you're in the chat. Also, you have not missed the soda review yet. I know Stupid in chat is here specifically for soda review, and then he's gonna leave, I'm sure. I have the Superliminal soundtrack playing in the background right now. I might switch that because I want something more high energy than Superliminal. Pac-Man World 2, I heard that one was good. There's a lot of 3D platformers recently. I mean, a couple of them are remakes. Pac-Man World 2 and Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Replaylee are the like remakes, but there's like there's a demo for like Bubsy 4D, and believe it or not, it's a Bubsy game that looks good. I haven't played it myself. I haven't played the demo, but I probably will at some point. Bubsy seemed like one of those games that like you could tell that the people were trying. Like it had development in parallel with Mario 64 is the story, so they didn't know what a 3D platform would be. Mario did it right. Bubsy didn't. They came out at about the same time, I believe. I don't like the animation, the moves. I watched one person play it. Video about it. It looks like a genuinely good game. It's weird how like indie devs back in the day, I guess indie devs are kind of consistent throughout the history of video games because you get mostly dog shit, but occasionally you'll get like a Stardew Valley or a fucking if we're going way back in the day, like a Roller Coaster Tycoon, where it's like one guy who's just absolutely like demolishing the gaming industry as like a one-man dev. It happens. I don't know. Fucking Stardew Valley, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Minecraft even. Minecraft started out that way. It was just one guy and his friend just, fuck it, we'll make a block game. All right. It is time for soda review. Chat, I have something, for sure, this is a little bit different. And I know my webcam is working this time. Hello, face reveal. Bringing the microphone over. I got, Ultraman! It's, from Taiwan. It's all, like, most of the text is in Mandarin, so I can't read a lot of... I mean, there's the label with the ingredients and stuff on the back that they have to put on, but it is Taiwanese, and I don't even know what it says. It says ramune Sparkling water, original flavor. I don't know what original tastes like. What does original taste like? I don't know. I'm not original. And then everyone in chat is going to be like, well, Source, you can't review a soda because it's in a can. We don't know what it looks like. Well, I came prepared. I have the glass and the can. I'm going to crack this open. We're going to look at what it looks like. All the way from Taiwan, just like my phone. Oh, that's boring. It's just clear. That's fucking lame. I thought it would be, like, funny. Okay. I'm gonna taste it. I think I've had, like, one of these ramune, like, regular original flavors before. Yeah, it's not as sweet as your typical, like, Sprite, but it's got that same, like, lemony citrus flavor. I like it. It's pretty good. It's not brown. I thought it, you know what? Even though the can is red, I thought it would be blue for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know anything about Ultraman. It says sparkling water. Yeah, but sparkling water is soda, isn't it? Isn't that what that means? I don't know. I'm not Taiwanese. I can't tell you the answer to those questions. But I have a couple other... I went to this Asian grocery store that's near me. Not near me, but it's close enough. And it's... They always have, like, a rotating selection of, like, weird sodas. I shouldn't say weird, because it's normal in other places, but, like, foreign sodas, you know? Carbonated drink? That's true. Carbonated drink is the correct term. It can't be a soft drink, because soft only means it's non-alcoholic. You know what's sad is that I've had cans in, like, Japan. They make the cans out of steel, and they're, like, really thick. This is just, like, aluminum, and you can, like, crush it a little bit. That's a little bit sad. I'll keep this can, though. This is a cool can. A lot of the sodas that I do, I keep the bottles. Sody Pop? Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna turn the webcam off, and we will get to the Steven universe. Now. What's the consensus on this episode? Ever had Moxie soda? I've never heard of that. Isn't gummy soda just like boba with the tapioca in it? Decent and really nice. Not bad. Greatest episode ever. Well, I can't trust... I can't trust what comes out of your chat messages. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Carl. You gotta watch Steven Universe review now instead of soda review. I like Garnet, so I'm primed to like the episode. That's fair. This is Garnet's like best episode so far. I would even say that it's her best episode in season 1. That's including Jailbreak. Like I think this as a character moment at the end, I think is a better. Whoa, the Ultraman soda is coming back. What do you call it? Like this character moment at the end, I think, is a better character moment than like revealing that she's a fusion. I think this episode has filler because they didn't fully think out Future Vision yet, which is why we got more Future Vision episodes. Yeah, I don't think they dove headfirst into the Future Vision concept without totally fleshing it out, I suppose. And it seems like they wanted to like tell us that Garnet had Future Vision without really knowing how to do that. So they wrote this storyline that only took up like the 4 minutes at the end of the episode. And then the rest of it feels very fillery. They wanted to tell this early for Jailbreak. I like this sentiment. I sort of wish this moment happened in a situation with actual stakes instead of the sort of silly contrived stakes of the episode. Yeah, that's what I didn't like about all the death montages, because it's like very silly. It's very much Steven overreacting, and it's cartoonish. Excuse me. We do have another future vision before Jailbreak. I feel like I have to argue that Winter Forecast is also very fillery. Maybe not the whole episode, but a lot of it is putzing around. I feel like these cartoon, if they wanted to do like death montages, they shouldn't have been like this cartoony. There's a lot of moments like Steven Universe doesn't do the typical like cartoon tropes, you know, if that makes any sense. Like it steps past those a lot of times to like be more have like characters that are more relatable and realistic and stuff like that. But then they kind of backpedal on that by doing this. Also, war crimes galore. You can't use the Red Cross according to the Red Cross. It's never been like tested in a court of law, so it's technically not illegal, at least in the United States. The writers want to be cartoony, but also story, and like it makes sense because of how the gems work. Winter Forecast confused the crap out of me until the end. Yeah, it's a very strange episode the first time watching it. It's interesting, but by the end you realize that it's all like wasted screen time because it's all just a set of what if scenes, you know. I feel like the whole montage death thing was so they could make vaguely recognizable B-drills. Yeah, you haven't seen any like bugs in Steven Universe, so we put B-drills in that are also gem monsters because they're made of magic, apparently. At least in his brain. Garner could have given Steven a straightforward future vision. Okay, here's the thing, too. There's a lot of people... I talked about how, like, kind of absurd Garnet's future vision is, and, like, how she can see details and stuff like that, and people are like, well, that's not how future vision works, but it's like, we get to see firsthand how it works, because we get to see Steven actually use Garnet's future vision when she smooches him on the forehead. That's like a thing that happens. Like, we get to see what she's seeing. So she gets to see, like, scenarios play out vividly with, like, full sensory everything. So it's not just, like, very good at predicting something. No, she's, like, literally viewing a potential, like, future event. And I think that the way that works is very... It opens a lot of, like, holes for things to go wrong in the story. Maybe it's not overpowered. I think I said it was overpowered in the video, and maybe that's not the case. But I think it just is a plot hole drill, basically. It drills plot holes into any story that you choose to use it in. Garnet's future vision isn't really future vision, it's just really precise logical deduction. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that that's not the case. The case is she's literally experiencing a future timeline. And we know that because we've seen it in Winter Forecast. And I'll be vindicated when I get to talk about it in that episode, in that video, later this season. Rebecca/Cartoon Network definitely asked Nintendo permission to use a Beedrill reference. Knowing Nintendo, well, I disagree, because Warner Brothers and Nintendo have already had beef in the past, and Nintendo won. Well, I don't know. Was it Warner Brothers? Yeah. Anyway, Warner Brothers is just as big of a company as Nintendo, so Nintendo would not try to go after them, because they would actually fight back. Nintendo punches down. They don't go after like actual big companies. You don't mess with Warner. Yeah, Warner is known more for... I actually do get by with the copyright. Whatever, like an frickin' Warner Brothers intern that deals with the copyright things on YouTube, I gotta say, whoever it is, thank you for handling them very, very easily for me, because those claims, I have to deal with a copyright claim for every episode of Gemology, and those claims get dealt with pretty much within maybe 3 days at the most. But I would much rather deal with Warner Brothers. I don't know. If I got sued, I think I'd rather be sued by Nintendo than Warner Brothers, because Nintendo sues for things they would probably lose. Warner Brothers sues and they know they can win. What's with Cartoon Network and turning people into skeletons immediately upon death? What is this a reference? Like, what else did Cartoon Network do that with? They killed that mirror guy on Infinity Train, and that was, like, graphic. This looks like a hot dog. Hold on. Why did I just think of this? This looks like a... It looks like a gray, like, gross bratwurst. More than a handle on a thing. Steven's worried about the wrong things here. He should be worried about getting sued by Nintendo and the Red Cross. I believe that the Red Cross has never actually, like, sued anyone over the use of their symbol in, like, media. Of course, they get put on trials for war crimes if you're misusing it as, like, a combatant. Because the Red Cross... If the Red Cross gets used by a combatant during a battle or during a war, that's like a war crime. But during a fucking... In media, that's fine. Who cares? Why do they... I don't know. They're too protective. They're as protective of their symbols as Nintendo is of their fucking property. Their IP. What the hell's IP? They don't even know anymore. Very sternly told to change, yes. I'll put it this way. If I put out a video game and I had, like, health kits with the Red Cross on it, and I got an email or, like, a whatever from the Red Cross that was just like, please change it, I wouldn't. Unless it was a cease and desist. And even then, I might take it to a lawyer and say, like, do I ignore this? Because I really would want to ignore it, right? I don't think they can do anything about it in media, because they don't actually have a registered trademark in the United States, as far as I know. I don't frickin'... Trying to prevent combat deaths? Yeah, but how is this gonna cause fucking combat problems during wartime? I don't know. Why not just make war illegal? Just war is a war crime. If you participate in war, you're a war criminal. I think that's what people think that fucking, what do you call it? People think that about characters in media. They think fucking rose quartz is a war crime. Goddamn Iroh in Avatar, The Last Airbender, they think he's a war criminal just because he laid siege to a fucking city. That's just what you do during war. You're not a war criminal because you participated in the war. Geneva Convention, more like Geneva Suggestion, am I right? Plus, if we're talking about war crimes, like, the Geneva Convention doesn't exist in a show like Avatar. And when we're regarding alien war 6,000 years ago, like, Switzerland didn't exist. There was no such thing as Geneva when the Gem War was fought, so there's no such thing as war crimes. War is a war crime sounds like the ultimate hippie protest sign. That is accurate. Is it just me, or does in early to mid season 1 the amount of hair bumps Steven has changes? How many does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many does he have in like Gem Glow? I think it's consistent. I think of all the things that they do in of all the like times they've gone off model. Here's him from Gem Glow. It's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I don't think it changes. I think that stays on model pretty enough. The cross should be allowed to be used. We use the cross as a symbol of health. What do you want the symbol to be seen as exactly? Listen, the only interaction I've ever had with the Red Cross is fucking blood donation, right? I've never donated blood, but every time I see like a blood drive, it's always the Red Cross. I associate the Red Cross with like medical help, like, yeah, with fucking health thing, medicine. I love this Garnet line. I drink coffee for breakfast. And she does this thing. Oh, my phone's going off. I'm going to turn that down. She does this thing. She does this a couple times throughout the series. She does it, what's the one? The Jamie episode where Jamie, like, writes her a love letter. I also don't know where this audio is coming from anymore. Shit. Oh, wait, I thought I had a tab open that was playing the audio. That's why that was confusing. Yeah, she walks out of the ocean and then sprays water in all directions and instantly dries herself off. And I was told, a couple people in the comments said, like, well, if it's like vaporized or like not vaporized, but not atomized. What's the word for like when you take a humidifier that like turns the water into mist by like vibrating it really hard? And it doesn't evaporate, but it turns into like a cloud. What is that called? It's not evaporation. No, because it's not changing states. Evaporation would be if you had a wick and a fan. Aerosolized, that's the one. It aerosolizes the coffee that can deliver third-degree burns, but when it's aerosolized, it cools down rapidly, so it would no longer deliver third-degree burns. I just think it's funny to think that Garnet just sprayed this coffee that can deliver third-degree burns at everyone. Also, is this a lightning move? She does like a lightning thing. Is this like she's like shifting the polarity of her body so then it like repels the water? I don't know. Distillation is refining a liquid into a pure form by slowly evaporating it and then condensing it. That's how they make like vodka or other hard liquors. Is it? It might be a electrical power. I think aerosolized is the correct term. PD doesn't even get a line. Listen, they did this guy dirty. PD deserves better in this show. He better come back in Lars of the Stars. I don't like the rhetoric of like there's a ruby side and a sapphire side to Garnet, because Garnet is like her own character. It feels very reductive of fusions to like talk about them as like, oh, it's just this side of her fusion and this side of her fusion. Well, no, because Garnet is Garnet. I think that I just think that undermines the like complexity of fusion, you know. Hold on, I'm gonna turn a light off in my office. One moment. Make it a little dimmer in here. Makes it easier to actually see shit on my monitor. I have a my monitor or my computer desk is right up against a window. Excuse me. Whoa, excuse me. And there's a point in the day, in the afternoon, where the sun shines right into the fucking window, and I just cannot see my monitor, and that's like the time of day that I just like step away from the computer and decide I need to do something else till the sun moves. Usually at that point I like read a book or like do chores or whatever. The current book I'm reading is Dune Messiah. Very, very not as good as the first book. Am I crazy, or is this perspective wonky as fuck? This one? Let's see. I think it's just like single point perspective, which is not that's not very common unless you're doing like interiors. I think the perspective makes sense. If you're doing like a hallway or like a road that vanishes into the distance, then single point works. It just looks like single point, or the vanishing point is inside Garnet's hips here, and then the lines, yeah, they all seem to converge into the same place. Maybe this roof doesn't. This roof seems to go... Can I draw a straight line? Annotate line. Oh, I can. Let's follow this line. Let's see where... Oh, maybe you're right. The lines do not converge properly. Even this... I guess they all seem to converge into one spot. Okay, maybe I'm... Yeah, it seems to be correct. Perspective is correct. We have determined that. It's a very strange place. I thought the vanishing point was here, but it's here instead. Steve is going to be decapitated by that tangent. See, I know a little bit. I learned about perspective drawing in when I took an engineering class in high school, we learned about, like, orthographic and perspective, because we had to do, like, what do you call it? Drafting, like creating designs for something or other in, like, CAD. But we learned how to do that on paper as well. So I remember that. I retained a lot of that. Is Garnet usually that big? How big is she in this scene? Because we can see, like, definitively this is how big Garnet is. Also, we can check the intro, because the best shot to see exactly how tall they're supposed to be is this one. Well, I don't know. Garnet's leaning too far forward, but Garnet, yeah, Garnet's fucking huge. She's like 7 feet. Was that Sonic? Probably. Yeah, they did a Sonic as well. Everyone's afraid of the Beedrills. I guess Sega would be, like, okay with using a funny Sonic. And fake Cloud from RPG World. Character heights are the biggest mystery in the show. That's because there was no global character sheets. I've talked about this before, but the character sheets changed for every episode, and they didn't adhere to them very strictly. "6'5"? If she was 6'5", she wouldn't have to duck under the door to get through it. I believe she is 7 feet. Steven is not 2/3 Garnet's height. That's not true. Maybe like teenager Steven in a future. It's not Sanic. There was a Sanic in, what do you call it? Frickin', oh, what's the name? Not Sworn to the Sword. Steven the Sword Fighter. There was a Sanic, and it was really horrifying. And I didn't point it out in Gemology, but back when I made Crystal Sins, I pointed it out. Okay, how... Steven is like... Oh, yeah, this is a better height comparison. Steven is like 1/3, maybe 2/5 Garnet height. If this is not like a height comparison, yeah, it's about like 2/5, right? Does that seem right? I need to see the Sanic right now. Let me look it up. Here it is. It's weird Pikmin Pikachu Gitaru Man crossed with the prince from Katamari and then Sanic. It's very, very horrifying. Mr. Smiley is the tallest human in the show. He's probably just 6'4". Yeah, Mr. Smiley is a big guy. I know Greg supposedly is like 6 feet. That's, and then you look back at in the what do you call it? In the flashback episodes, when he looks younger, people think that he is like really short. And then they also think Amethyst is really short. But that's only because you don't have Steven to compare heights to. But Amethyst doesn't grow taller. It's just the fact that Greg looking younger and looking kind of like Steven. You would think that Greg is shorter, but he's not. He's still like an adult in the flashback episodes. How tall is Lars? I think Lars is like, there was that one shot where Lars is like really fucking huge compared to okay, this is a bad example because he's hunched over, but stood up, his like top of his head would come to her shoulders. Lars is less than 6 feet, I would think. Sadie is 2 feet tall. Sadie is like... I feel like Sadie of like the young townies, Sadie's like the oldest, you know? Short stack. And then, wait, Rose Quartz standing next to, like, Rose Quartz and Garnet are, like, the same height, right? Rose Quartz was just fucking huge. Same with Jasper. Like, any quartz is gigantic. Mr. Smiley's height is definitely noticeable in political power. Don't throw that term out wildly. What, short stack? I'm just reading it in chat. I listen, I can get away with saying literally anything because I was just like, oh, I'm just reading a chat message. Even if nobody said it. I see Sadie and Lars being like 19 or 20. Yeah, I think that's the case. I think Lars is definitely younger because he's much, much less mature, but that doesn't... I guess maturity and age don't always go hand in hand. Can I watch that scene with Lars fucking chucking the coffee across the whole room? Watch how little his arm moves. It's filling... Okay, I'll put my cursor where his hand is. First of all, his hand moves forward, and then the coffee goes flying backward. Very strange animation there. He threw it on purpose. That's possible. He's trying to fucking kill Steven. Why did Garnet not see any of the times that Pearl tried to kill Steven? I think Pearl trying to kill Steven is one of the reasons that she's not my favorite. She probably would be otherwise. There's two reasons. That she's neurotic and she tries to kill Steven on like a few, like more than 2 or 3 occasions, you know? That must hurt. The baby incident? Yeah, she tries to pull fucking the gem out of his belly and leave him bleeding. Garnet thinks better of Pearl, so ignored those outcomes. That is possible, yeah. Garnet would probably be like, that's not... Pearl wouldn't do that. That's probably not what's going to happen, and then it did happen. Play it at full speed? I can do that. I avoid using audio during these streams. Yeah, I guess the motion works, but the fact that his arm doesn't have follow-through is... I don't know. It, like, violates some animation thing in my brain. It doesn't activate my neurons in the right order. Why do his feet do that? I don't know. I don't know why he's, like, reacting this way if Steven just, like, yelling. If he, like, turned around and saw him coming at him, I understand that reaction. He's like, I don't want him to touch me. That's weird. Search Grandma Milkvine. I don't know if I want to search that. I don't know if I wanted to say that out loud, but now I can use my excuse that I was just reading chat. Reality took away the coffee pot. It's Aquamarine using her fucking wand. Search, yeah, the new political party of southern farmers who have lemon orchards. It's the lemon party. They have citrus orchards. They're representing farmers in Florida and California who grow citrus. How did the tests go? I haven't graded them. The tests close on, or the submissions close on Halloween, so I'll probably do a stream that weekend where I just grade the essays. I'll just take like a few hours to do it. It'll probably take a long time. I can actually check. I'm not going to show this thing itself, but I'm just going to look how many submissions there were. Why didn't the glass break? Because it's that, like, German glass. There's 151 responses times 4 essays each. How many essays is that to grade? That's over 600 essays. Jesus. Garnet does not drink coffee for breakfast. She's a liar, dude. What do you call it? What was I gonna say? This is like that strong German glass. I don't know. I've seen coffee pots break for less. I was pouring a coffee at one point when I was much younger, and it just the little, the little lip, this like broke off into the cup for no reason. It was really weird. How do you think Garnet would like her coffee? Black. I think Garnet would put a little bit of sugar in it. Sapphire would have her coffee black. Garnet would have a little bit of sugar in there. Black and cold. I actually, if I'm going to drink black coffee, I would much rather have it cold than hot, honestly. Ruby would put all sorts of random shit in there. She would just load it up with sugar, I think. I feel like Ruby would be a sugar addict if she was left to her own devices. Ruby would put salt in her coffee instead of sugar. Amethyst just, like, doesn't care. She would drink the whole pot and then, like, eat the mug. Hot black coffee is evil. My fucking parents, I hope they're listening because they're insane people, and I need them to know that they're insane people, and I'm outing them to the 30 or so people who are watching right now. My parents drink instant coffee just black. What the hell? How do you do that? That's nasty. Black instant coffee. Ugh. I've tasted it. It's horrendous. I think I didn't like coffee for the longest time because my main exposure to it was instant and without any like good shit in it. There's some real demons, I guess. Yeah. Based but evil. Yeah, it's like it's lawful evil. High-key addicted to mochas yet. Okay, Chad, I'll give you my coffee. My ideal coffee that I usually make. Because I drink coffee mostly for the caffeine. As they did back in history. I have an espresso machine. I get like that finely ground coffee made for espressos. Frickin' I make 2 shots of that. I put it in a jar because I put it in the fridge once I'm done. I put 2 shots of espresso in a jar. I put a scoop of hot cocoa powder and then fill the rest of it with milk. And that's like a mocha. I think I've talked about this on stream before. It's like the easiest, like, quick, prepare it the night before, and then it's, like, ready in the fridge kind of coffee. It's really good. It's a jar. Oh, it's, yeah. I do it in a jar because I can... Oh, Parker, how's it going? I do it in a jar so I can make, like, 4 or 5 of them at once and then have them ready for the week. Also, my cousin is in chat. Maybe not my parents listening, but my cousin is definitely listening. I wish there was like a VIP role, because I would give you a little VIP role so I could tell you apart. Oh, cousin, will you be at that thing? I know your parents will be there, but that thing on next weekend. I don't want to like dox you or anything, or me. There's a thing going on next weekend. And I don't know who all is going to be there. This action frame. What are these lines called? Is this action lines? I don't think it's action lines, right? So I think I outed him that he was in chat and then he left. He freaked out. Grandma milk tossing. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I think of milk tossing. You know how the term tossing, like if you toss something up in UK phrasing, it's you're like vomiting. If you toss up, you're puking. Grandma milk jug vine. Let me look this. Let me see this real quick. Let me pause the Superliminal soundtrack 1 sec. Scared grandma throws milk and the cat jumps from car horn mashup. What? No, I don't want the mashup. I want the vine. Is it this one? Let me find the Lars throwing the coffee, and then I'll be able to compare it. Okay, so this is the grandma throwing the milk. She throws it forward, but Lars throws it up and over his head and somehow doesn't get any of it on his own head and deliver 3rd-degree burns to his own scalp. That's wacky. All of the... Listen, I have this... I'll get the music going again. I have this thing installed into my browser that's like it's... What is it? Unhook? It like disables YouTube Shorts and stuff on YouTube. So if... The Vine exists in short form and I just can't watch it because it's... I have the thing to disable it. You're standing in my truth. I think it's close. I don't know. It could be. There's been more obscure references, like references more obscure than that in this show, like the baby fighting statue. Also, I had direct influence over Google Trends when I talked about the baby fighting statue. Because you go on Google Trends, and the day that the Watermelon Steven episode went public, there's a spike for the search term baby fighting statue. W add-on though, it's like they push shorts in my face. They yeah. It there other things it does, it disables, like, end cards in videos that, you know, they, like, cover up the whole screen. Which actually YouTube did, like, finally add something to, like, hide those. it disables the home. First of all, it disables trending. Nobody cares about trending. It also disables the home page. So instead of the home page, it takes me directly to subscriptions, which I think is really nice because I actually get to watch people that I fucking subscribe to. And autoplay. Not that I have autoplay turned on, but it doesn't let it turn on by default. What is the Ninja Squad? Is this like Boy Scouts? Pennsylvania? There's no such... You mean Keystone? The Keystone State? No, Keystone. I've seen this fucking dinosaur on Steven's, the head of his bed. And I've never, like, registered it in my brain until this exact second. I've also heard people say that they didn't know that... They didn't realize that the text is 3D here. They just didn't, like, register that in their brain. And if I'm gonna be totally honest, I also didn't register that in my brain until I started analyzing the intro every other video. The dinosaurs crossing dimensional barriers. Yeah, there's a lot of objects that lose their outlines. Like that one Ed and Eddie episode. Also, I can't be the only one who thinks that, like, this style text looks like those word art things you would make in, like, Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. Lag? If there's lag, it's not my end. I have 0% dropped frames. Wait, glitchy voice? Hello? Let me listen to myself real quick. You mean the keys? You mean... I don't understand. What's going on? Let me listen. I'm gonna mute my desktop audio and then I'm gonna listen to my own voice. No, I think my voice is normal sounding. I don't know. Didn't Ruby play acoustic guitar in that one episode? Yeah. I forget what that episode is called. There's... The farther and farther you get into... Yeah, the farther you get into the series, the more I forget the names of episodes. Because there's, like, The Answer. Isn't The Answer the cowboy, Ruby being a cowboy? Everyone just knows it as the cow... No, it's not The Answer. It's The Question. Fuck this. I hate... Dude, naming schemes like that is weird. It's not... Ruby Rider is the song. People remember Ruby Rider better because there's a whole song. This old Ruby Rider is Ruby riding along. Yeah, that's the one. I don't know why I did a Mickey Mouse voice for that. Ruby Rider, but it's Mickey Mouse. We can do that now because Mickey Mouse is public domain. If I sing the whole Ruby Rider song, but it's someone animates it as Mickey Mouse, you can potentially do that. Need a full cover now? Not now, but someday. Maybe I'll entertain that request. Make a really good Mickey Mouse voice. It's more of a... if any of you have seen Brain Dump by Hot Diggity Demon, it's more of a goofball voice. I just drank a whole glass of cum! You know, that guy. Goofball, you can't drink a whole glass of cum on YouTube. Well, it's not against the terms of service. Dude, nobody has seen... What's the fucking name of that video? The Brain Dump about fascism. It's sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and then Goofball shows up and he drinks a whole glass of cum! You know? And then barfs it all over the Raid Shadow Legends logo. Did you say Grandma Brownie's... Well, wait, I lost the voice. Hold on. Did you say Grandma Brownie's chocolate chunker wonker bunkers now with bigger... Oh, shit. I can't remember it. That's like a voice that I can turn on and off easily. I'll stop now, because some people probably are pissed off. I think most people are fine. No, most people are pissed off because people are leaving. Did you know that Raid Shadow Legends has Ninja Turtles? I don't know any... I literally have never touched Raid Shadow Legends, and I will never, ever touch it. If they email me about sponsoring Gemology, I will email them a JPEG of a pipe bomb. Maybe. Like the pipe bomb from Left 4 Dead. Here's the thing, is that the reason I do Patreon is so I don't have to do sponsorships. I talked about the whole test, like the winner of the test gets to become the master patron, which is going to be the $50 tier. And the reason I want to do a higher tier is because at some point I would like to quit my full-time job and pursue YouTube like full-time. I think that would be fun as hell. Then I'd be able to do other stuff than just Gemology and maybe even like run a second channel. Liquid Liquor Lacquer? I said it. Why is that a hard phrase to say, Liquid Liquor Lacquer? Oh yeah, buying a plane as well. Maybe if I wanted to buy a plane, I would do the Patreon, and then I would also do frickin', what do you call it? I would also stay with my current full-time job. Is saying Liquid Liquor Lacquer, is that like the last phrase you need to like train the AI voice model based on me, on my voice? Massachusetts? I still don't know how to spell Massachusetts. It's... I just have to remember it's double S double T. I feel like people who went to elementary school in Massachusetts know how to spell it better than people who aren't from there. I'll have you replaced by next week. At least send me a copy of that voice model, trusty mic. Okay, here we go. I was a little bit quiet because I need a new goddamn audio interface. That's another reason I would like. I am expanding the Patreon, is like, if someone ends up donating that, then I would like to upgrade my audio shit that I've been using for quite literally the past 8 years. That whenever I can do that on command, because whenever I touch the volume, yeah, it's there. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. It's back to normal. Steven's faces in this episode are ugly? I think this episode is not... Who boarded this one? I don't know the board artists by their style like other people do. Lamar Abrams. Well, usually that guy makes... I don't know. It's... I mean, this is like purposely ugly. This is anxiety, Steven. Make this a fucking emote in a Discord or something. I might actually do that. Larimar. Larimar? Yeah. Yeah, why does he have keyboard teeth in this shot? This is not how Steven's teeth are. I liked one of my favorite jokes that I ever wrote for Gemology is the cheeseburger backpack, where there was a lot of shots of Steven being off model, and I'm like, who boarded this? They should be fired. And then it's Rebecca Sugar and Ian Jones Quarty, like. Yeah, the fucking creators and showrunners of the whole goddamn show draw the worst storyboards. I'm not even sugarcoating it. I think that episode has some of the ugliest drawings in the whole series. There's one moment in Future where I think it's horrendous. And people might disagree with me because it seems like everyone disagrees with me when I talk about Future. But it's in the Steven Tag episode, and I'll let you guess which frame it is. Storyboards are also part of the show's writing. That also blows my mind that it's not even only this show, but there's a lot of animated shows that they don't do a screenplay for dialogue. They just go straight, they skip that step and just go straight to storyboarding. That kind of just goes against what I learned at least for live action productions. That being said, the only actual what do you call it? The only TV show I ever worked on genuinely was a reality show. Look up the show. I was a production assistant on one episode of a show called, what is it? Street Outlaws? It's a drag racing show. I didn't even know that existed, and then I was like, until I was on the production of it. It was a very strange event. Is it just mayo? Is this even, like, based on anything? Yeah, I guess it's, like, Hellman's mayo. Oh, my fucking... One of my ducks... Okay, my ducks were molting. And when they're molting, they don't lay. They don't lay eggs. But they finally, like, got over it. And they started laying again. And I had the idea, I'm gonna make a duck mayonnaise. Duck egg mayonnaise. Yeah. One's laying, and then another one looks really fat, and then the third one isn't fat yet, so... People don't know I have ducks, even though the ducks were part of the fucking test? How many ducks do I have? Well, you have the answer now. I'm not gonna say it again, because you can scroll back. I was gonna say, why is Pearl, like, really tall in this shot and she's standing on the warp pad? What is this, like chimpanzee pose that she's doing? Are they white ducks or the green mallard ducks? That seems very reductive of, like, how many different duck species or duck breeds there are. Also, if Von Dell is in the chat, he's like the duck expert. She looks sad. She kind of does. But, to answer your question, they are white, and one of them is black. Like, entirely black. Beak, legs, feet, feathers. There's no color on this duck. This is like shadow duck. The other two ducks are just white. Call ducks? No. Call ducks are loud as hell. That's why they're call ducks. I don't know. They're like a mutt. They're like mixed breed of nonsense. I think there's some mallard in them. It would be funny if they used a JPEG, like a PNG of bread like they did in High Guardian Spice. I gotta watch that show at some point, just as it's a lesson in how not to make a show, so I feel like I need to watch it at some point, because I do want to make a show at some point. Part of Gemology is to dissect what makes the show good and what makes it bad, so when I eventually want to go make a show of my own, I will know the ins and outs. What flavor are the ducks? They're, I don't know. I haven't eaten the ducks themselves. I've eaten the eggs, and the eggs taste like eggs. Steven face emote has been formatted and posted in the Discord. Hold on, let me see. Did you, like, screenshot that the moment I said it? Oh, there it is. I'll do that later. I'm not gonna do that right now, but I will put a anxiety Steven emote in the chat. Are the ducks dry? No, they jump in the frickin' water all the time. How do feathers feel? I will tell you that a baby duck does not feel as soft. Like, if I ranked animals, let me rank animals in terms of softness. Okay, number 1 softest animal is a chinchilla. Number 2 is a rabbit. Number 3 is a cat. Number 4 is a baby duck. And then dog is after that. So, like, a baby duck is not as soft as a cat. At least my cat. I was able to go between petting baby duck and petting cat, so I know exactly how soft. But rabbits and chinchillas are super fucking soft. Have picked up several baby ducks today. Man, I wish I had more space in my yard to have more than just the 3 that I have, because I would want to just have babies all the time. Baby ducks. Contender human beards. Yeah, I think a human beard is on like the very bottom of that list. Like everything that comes before it. Especially just like a freshly shaved beard, it's very rough. I do have a Daffy Duck. It's not a Daffy Duck because it has, she has a black bill. It's not an orange bill. She's totally black and has a black bill. I don't know if real life ducks can have, like, black feathers but also an orange bill. I don't know if that's despicable. Yeah. I don't know if that's like real. I have a lot of people, like, I show them a picture of it and they're like, oh, I didn't know ducks could be black. And it's like, one of the most famous cartoon ducks ever is black. Like, come on. I've never seen a fully Daffy-colored duck. Yeah. There's some wacky ducks out there, though. The breed I got, I think if they're like purebred, Cayuga duck is what the black duck that I have is like a mix of a Cayuga and something else. But a full purebred Cayuga was supposed to lay, like, dark-colored eggs. Like, almost black. And mine just lays white eggs. It's boring. They taste good, though. Let me get a picture of that. I guess I'm describing the ducks well enough. I might as well just fucking show a picture. Let me see. Here's unrelated, but here's a rabbit that when I was at my parents' lawn and I was mowing my parents' lawn, and there's a little baby rabbit in the tall grass, and I had to move it because it was gonna get run over by the lawnmower. I didn't want to run over a poor little baby bunny. Now where's a duck? Where's a good duck picture? I think I can send one more recent one from my phone. Here's a really good one. There's my ducks. There you go. I told you, totally black. Black bill and everything. Do I have a farm? No. I actually have... in the city I live in, there's actually a law that lets you keep up to 10 poultry in the city, but you have to have a land use permit. Say, like, here's the spot that I'm gonna have the pen. Stuff like that. I have a pen, and then I have... It's like this... chicken wire type stuff. I don't know what to call this, but it also has this same fencing on top. So then, like, raccoons and fucking owls and shit can't get into them. I've seen all sorts of animals trying to get into this pen. I was up early one morning. I get up pretty early in the morning to, like, do shit. 4:30. And there's a big-ass owl sitting in the tree, like, right above the ducks, trying to get at them. $600 calories? It's probably more than that. Ducks are fatty. Why do I have ducks for the eggs? Yeah, until you keep outside birds, you don't realize how many predators are just around. Yeah, and they're pretty stinky. If I go too long without replacing the bedding, they get stinky, and then that draws in all sorts of crazy predators. Okay, let me think. I've seen hawks, owls, falcons, foxes, dogs, raccoons, cats. I don't think there's been a coyote. Maybe there's a coyote. It might have just been a fox. I don't know. All sorts of crazy shit. No bears, no mountain lions. Yeah. Take a look at this rabbit. Half tempted to keep that one for myself, but it's a wild animal and you shouldn't keep a wild animal. Anyway, that was my animal story. Not even a story. There was no narrative to that. Okay, here's my thing. Why the fuck does Amethyst just like do this cool jump to get onto the... She's like, yup, and then gets onto the warp pad with like this crazy squash and stretch. Yeah. She's like stomping a Koopa. If I photoshopped a turtle shell underneath her. Because it's Amethyst, that's true. It is badass. She's freaking showing off. I kind of wanted to do that meme, you know, it's a little bit distasteful, but it's one of these helmets. It's actually helmets for people who have like seizures and would hurt themselves during one. It's one of those padded ones, and it, like, here, King, you dropped your crown, but it's one of those like padded helmets. Maybe a little distasteful. I didn't include it in the video, and I don't think there's like a good joke I could have made about it. That's just something that was left on the cutting room floor, you know? Sometimes there's just a joke that's like, here's the punchline, but I don't know how to set it up. Excuse me. I gotta drink more of my Ultraman soda to stop coughing. Okay. Wasn't able to... No one's argued against that this was possibly a Avatar: The Last Airbender homage to the Zuko scene. I choose to... Like, I was watching some Avatar clips around the same time that I was making this, like, getting ready to make this video. I'm like, is this a fucking... Is that just a reference to Zuko on the mountain screaming into the sky? It sure seemed like it to me. I was on board with the theory instantly. It's just like the framing, the music, the fucking rain, the fact that he's like on top of something. It's... Never watched Avatar. You're the second person in my fucking life who said they've never watched Avatar. It's probably like number 2 show of all time for me. That's saying a lot. I love Steven Universe, but I wouldn't even put Steven Universe in like a top 5, you know? Avatar is like number 2. Ed, Edd n Eddy being on top, because that's my fucking... That's 99% of my humor, my sense of humor is based on, mostly on Ed and Eddie. Why does he have no neck? Oh wait, why does he have no... Wait, I'm thinking of that JonTron bit where he's it's the plug and play video. The plug and play JonTron video where he shows the kid with like his shoulders hunched up like that. He's like, perfect for kids with no necks. Finally, a game system for me. I've never watched Star Wars. Yeah, it's fine. Star Wars has been parodied so many times that you probably don't even need to watch Star Wars at this point. Watch Spaceballs. Don't watch Star Wars. The Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender doesn't exist. I've never seen it, and I probably never will. Because why would you remake one of the greatest shows of all time? That's what I think the same thing for fucking How to Train Your Dragon. Why would you remake such a fantastic movie? Also, How to Train Your Dragon is like number 2 favorite movie. Number 1 being No Country for Old Men. Why would you... And yeah, the people were saying, yeah, it's like it's so good. It's like a shot-for-shot remake of the original. It's like, if it's a shot-for-shot remake of the original, I'm just gonna go fucking watch the original. Why are we remaking these masterpieces? It's like, oh, I'm gonna paint the Mona Lisa again. But I'm gonna use fucking photography. I'm gonna take a picture of this woman and Photoshop her to look like the Mona Lisa. No, we already have the Mona Lisa. We don't need another one. Why are... Star Wars horse is very dead, but Disney keeps beating it. Yeah. I've stopped caring about Star Wars. I loved it as a kid. I loved Star Wars, The Clone Wars. I think that's like peak Star Wars media. And after the trilogy, I don't have any like vitriolic hatred toward the sequel trilogy as much as other people do, but it's just like, it's not as fun. That's what I'm saying, is why are they doing remakes of great, like, already great existing media? Yet one of the most famous Star Wars lines is constantly misquoted. Yeah, because it's easier to remember. It's the fucking Mandela effect. Not the like alternate dimension bullshit that people think the Mandela effect is about it, but it's that it's easier to remember Luke, I am your father, than no, I am your father, because like Luke is a prominent like figure in that scene. Because Darth Vader's talking to Luke. I've seen fucking YouTube comments that are misquoted. Like, they watch the video, they put a timestamp to where the person says something, and then they misquote it. Like, they just listened to the quote and they still get the quote wrong. How does that happen? I actually... That's one of those comments. I don't delete comments. I never delete comments that I disagree with, or, like, if they're, like, criticizing an actual point that I made. I don't delete those. I just delete nonsense, like people putting a timestamp and trying to quote me and then getting the quote wrong. I will fucking delete that comment. It's like, if you're gonna put in the effort to make a comment, then put in the effort to get it right, you know? I don't know. I only delete things when I think it's funny to delete them. That's my opinion. How bright is the warp stream? I don't know, but if the gems go on a mission while Steven is sleeping, it definitely wakes him up in the night. My cat showed up. What do you want? I fed you already. What do you want? Cato. It is the Steve. Ow. Claws. I'll let him lay on my lap for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how bright the warp stream is. I feel like you need fucking sunglasses to be inside the warp stream, though, because it would be like staring into the sun at every direction if it's that bright, you know? It's also very, very dark. And then it's like exposure corrected, and this is like blown out. If you know about cameras, then you know that, like, oh, we cranked the exposure up so we could see Steven in the dark, and then it's all, when the warp pad happens, it's really fucking bright because it blows out the camera because the exposure's up. Yeah, I think that's the case. I haven't done a lot of photography in a very, very long time. I definitely should someday. I might do, like, I had this idea back when I was in college doing photos in like a studio. I wanted to do a like photography live stream, if that makes any sense. So I like to do light painting. I think it'd be fun to like try to do that on stream and see how they turn out. I don't know if I feel like I'm missing messages in the chat. I had it set to top chat instead of live chat. It's like Connie always closes her eyes when she warps. Is that the case? Also, I was saying earlier, this is Garnet's best moment in season 1. Like, including Jailbreak. Like, I don't think Jailbreak had a great Garnet character moment. I think it's great for lore. But, like, to show that she's a fusion, that's like lore, that's a lore tidbit, but that's not really a character tidbit. Because being a fusion, well, I'm gonna say something maybe people might disagree with, but being a fusion is much like gender in the fact that, like, gender doesn't define you as a person. Maybe that's a controversial opinion now. But if like someone, here's how I'll describe it. If someone told me that they're like a woman or a man or non-binary, like, that doesn't tell me anything about their personality. That just tells me their gender. And if I started to make assumptions based on that gender, then I'd be... that seems rude. To, like, just start fucking assuming shit. So the same goes for, like, if a gem shows up and says, like, I'm a fusion, it's like, oh, well, that doesn't tell me anything. Like, what tell me about you? It was like Garnet's third eye. Someone said, maybe it was Vondell. Someone in the chat in Discord said Garnet's eyes get less creepy every time you see them, to the point where in Jailbreak it's like kind of endearing. I think it is. I think like the moment you see Garnet reform and she's like smiling and all three of her eyes are out, it's it's very, like, the three eyes are endearing. It's pretty cool. Based take on gender? I think so. That's why gender doesn't, like, bother me. Like, I think pronouns are a waste of energy because pronouns are not gonna, like, tell me anything about the person. So I'll stop saying he, she, it me, you, I, we. We're just abolishing all pronouns for any reason. Shit. There's no way to delete all pronouns from my lexicon. I'm trying to say sentences without using any pronouns, but now it's impossible. Because I can't say I can't say you, I can't say my, me. No pronouns ever. I'll put it this way. I choose if I'm setting up an account or a profile on something and there's a pronoun section, I usually leave it blank because that doesn't tell anybody anything about me. If I tell use he, him, it's that doesn't, I don't know. That's my take. I don't have any problem with people identifying as one gender or another. I just think the pronoun thing is blown out of proportion. Chat's not a pronoun? Maybe. Also, does anyone know which episode, the next episode that Garnet uses her electric powers? I'm not gonna give you the answer. This is a bonus question. It's not worth any points. So the previous episode she used her electric powers was Arcade Mania. Then it's this one. What's the next one, chat? Do you guys know? Because I do. Does it have something to do with Greg's van? Yes. The car. Yeah. The Wailing Stone episode. Yep, you got it. It's message received when the fucking van's battery dies because they're draining all the power without running the engine. So Garnet jump starts the van with her electric shocking powers. Use names. Oh yeah, instead of pronouns, use names. Lapis scared me in that episode? Well, Lapis had something scary to say. Of course she scared you. The third person. Yes. Source Master likes that idea. I'm not going to say Source Master every time. That's obnoxious. I'll do a whole episode of Gemology where I just refer to myself in this third person. I'll also refer to myself as Sourcey instead of Source Master. Or even Sourcey Poo. And everyone has to call me Sourcey Poo in the comments, otherwise you're getting fucking banned! I'm joking, of course. Or am I? The thing is, I could be joking, but also that video is not going to happen. That sounds that sounds like hell to make. And everyone would unsubscribe. How many stools appeared in this episode? Let's find out. It was just one, right? It was the one that was yeah, because these were fucking missing. You can't just cheat a bingo. You can't just get me to talk about all the fucking things. Yeah, they're chairs. Are they stools at this point? I mean, I would still call them a stool, but they're stool. It's more chair adjacent. It's just it's this stool with a back, or a very tall chair. She should be able to control Steam. What if Garnet used a Steam Deck? Do you think Garnet would get addicted to Factorio if she got a Steam Deck? I think she would. If she got addicted to that rhythm game, I think Factorio she would just be fucking... Like, you would never be getting her back. I mentioned Factorio in that video, and I know it's... Someone posted a meme. Let me see if I can find it. In a Discord server that I'm in. Shit. It's something like, I don't think I'll be able to show it on stream because having to fucking copy image and stuff. Can I put this in? No, I can't. God damn it. And I don't want to just like show... Oh wait, I can just open this in... I'll open this in the in the browser. If you have ADHD, lack of executive function may make it hard to complete household chores, keep up with your friends, or even make yourself food. Luckily, there's help. With just one pill, you can instead play Factorio for 14 hours straight while vibrating at near audible frequency. That's a Adderall for all you Adderall enjoyers out there. I'm more of a Satisfactory guy. I never could get into Satisfactory. I think just being able to look down at my factory and like see all the machines doing like what they do at a glance was very appealing to my brain. Satisfactory is there's not like giant icons of like what the machines are crafting. It's not as replayable, I think. I don't know, not that I've finished Satisfactory. Garnet, Pearl, and Connie would get addicted to that. I think if do you think Amethyst would get addicted to like a sports game like fucking Madden or something? Or like NBA 2K? Working in manufacturing has made me understand why it's possible to stop understanding how your factory works after enough expansion. I think that goes the same way with like programming. Like with enough lines of code written, as if the code is not readable and you don't go to like read it every so often, you just end up forgetting what that like file does, you know? She would do Wii Sports. Amethyst would absolutely not do Wii Sports. I'm sorry to break it to you. I think Amethyst would play like Overwatch and fucking... Let me think. Probably like NBA 2K. Wii Sports on emulator with keyboard. Nah, there's no way. There's no way Amethyst would do that. Who would do that? It's probably... Peridot would do Wii Sports on emulator with keyboard. That's a Peridot thing. Amethyst strikes me as the kind of person to be like, video games like Super Mario, I think I've played that, not my thing. Yeah, I think Amethyst is more into like the physical shit. She's the kind of person who would like buy a gun and go to the gun range every day. I think that's what would happen. This is the second stream in a row where I've talked about gems having guns, I think. Which gem would play MMOs? I feel like Lapis would play old school RuneScape. Lapis would have like 3 accounts running at the same time on old school RuneScape. A lot of quartzes would certainly love guns and gun culture. That's gonna be an episode of Lars of the Stars where all the rose quartzes like get fucking human firearms. Who would no life Rust? Probably Aquamarine. Aquamarine would do it. No, wait. Yeah, probably Aquamarine, and then she would, like, complain every time she gets killed. You roof campers are all the same. Lucky for me, I can't even play Rust. Guys, I'm on Linux. That game doesn't run on Linux. What gem would play turn-based RPGs? Well, Steven, of course. Steven is the RPG gamer. Pearl got very into the original Animal Crossing for the GameCube. That's why Steven has Animal Crossing in... Is he ever... Does it show up in this one? It does. Animal Crossing. It's there. That's not Steven playing that one. That's... Steven's playing Wind Waker. Steven's the RPG guy. Pearl is playing Animal Crossing. If it's written in Rust, why would it not run on Linux? Haha. I would like to learn... If I learned a new programming language, I don't know what I would use it for, but I would learn Rust. I'd probably use it for, like, fucking Arduinos or something. I don't know. Wind Waker's not an RPG? Then what the fuck is it? It's an action RPG. It's not a JRPG. Of course not. Action Adventures? Is Action Adventure not an RPG? I think, like, Zelda as a concept is closer to Dungeons and Dragons, the original RPG, than something like Pokemon. I'm Googling this to see if, like, Wikipedia says otherwise. Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. I actually have Wind Waker, but my Wii is not working. I can't play it. It does say it's an action-adventure game, but it's not an RPG? I don't believe it. I say it's an RPG. If Skyrim is an RPG, then Wind Waker is an RPG. I don't make the rules. I actually do make the rules. That's my rules in my brain. Genres are pretty arbitrary. Yeah, that's... like, I've had this conversation with one of my friends who's, like, really into, like, all sorts of music. And you get asked, like, what's your favorite genre of music? It's like, what the fuck do I answer to that? Like, genres are so meaningless. Like, there's a fucking genre of music called shoegaze. Like, I don't even know what that means. How do you, like, why would you... I don't know. One song to another song is so different that I feel like defining a genre is pointless. I don't have preferences in music. That's... I can't even decide on a favorite song, because if you ask me my favorite song and then I give you an answer and then you ask me like 20 minutes later, it's going to be different. Because there's just so many good songs out there. The way to, like, not get into that conversation is the answer I give is just, like, when I get into my car, I have the radio tuned to, like, the 70s and 80s channel. Station, not channel. My favorite song is whatever I like listening to at the time. Pretty much. Do I like Gem Mutants more or Corrupted Gems more? I think the corrupted gems, there's more room for creativity in terms of, like, powers and abilities. Like, the pufferfish. Like, there's no gem mutants with, like, wind power, you know? Or, soon I'll be getting to Horror Club, where corrupted gem is, like, it takes control of the lighthouse, and it's, like, haunting it. Like, a gem mutant doesn't do that. Like, a corrupted gem can do pretty much anything, whatever the writers feel like, which is pretty fucking cool. Because there's no way to... Yeah. Well, I guess one corrupted gem is very different from another. Just like music genres. Wish the show went a little more into how inherently horrifying the fusion experiments are. I kind of agree, because once the cluster is dealt with, there's no more fusion monsters. Or, yeah, like, fusion mutants. Gem mutants. Gem mutants are just mangled arms and legs that can just be shot down with a gun. Theoretically. That, I mean, a regular gem, I have determined, can be shot with a gun. Because, like, gems were created thousands of years ago when guns didn't exist on Earth. And now Earth has guns. It's like, how the fuck does a gem defend from a gun? Unless you have the rose quartz shield and you're able to, like, split-second react to a fucking bullet. It moves faster than the speed of sound. You can't. You're getting roasted. You're getting fucking demolished by a Glock. I can't remember where it was. In one of my videos. Maybe it was in a Premiere chat or something. Someone said something about, like, oh, guns confirmed, like, non-existent or whatever. But it's like, there are fucking guns in the show. Like, Vidalia has a shotgun. What's with the zoom? Because I'm zooming. I'm a zoomer. Get it? Also, this is a face. Everyone says this. It's a face. Wait, that's not the right. Yeah. Yeah. Angry face. Peridot has that laser gun thing, but it's not like a firearm. I don't know if that would do anything. I guess it just explodes fucking walls and shit. I think it would do something against a human. But then it's gotta, like, charge up, and it only shoots, like, one thing. It's a fucking thing. But then, like, humans have the, like, CMOS fucking... Not CMOS. That's a battery for a computer. What's this? The CWIS close-in weapon system. That's the one. Where it can fucking, like, track and it has a minigun on the front. CMOS is the battery in your computer that, like, keeps the clock running when the computer is turned off. That's different. That's not a gun. Oh, this face is weird. I don't know who drew this. This is very strange. Surely there's a limit to guns working against gems, though. Could someone just one-shot White Diamond or Malachite? I feel like they'd be able to tank maybe 1 or 2 shots. But like if you take like a shotgun direct blast to the center of mass like you're supposed to do, like a gem's just fucking done. And if you hit the gem and you crack it, it's over. That's why a shotgun against a gem is probably the best option. Bro's running his PC on CMOS. CMOS is the acronym. It's a, what is it called? Hold on. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. And then there's a battery that goes with that. It's this thing. It's a 3-volt little battery. You've probably seen these. One of these guys. If you ever open up your computer, it's got one of these in it. And it pretty close to it is a little crystal that vibrates when it's powered, and then it vibrates at a very like standard frequency, and that frequency is used to run the clock on the computer. It's like diamonds have armies and don't bother to fight personally. That's why the fucking president has a bunker in the White House. Because the president doesn't go on the front lines to fight the wars. Not that there's any wars that the U.S. should be fighting, but it's like, I don't know. Pink diamond versus hydraulic press. Who wins? The diamonds are very brittle. Being as hard as they are, not being malleable in the slightest makes them very easy to break. Like if you made a pane of like diamond to try to make a window, like you just tap on that thing and it just breaks. Unless it's really thick. But how do you get that much diamond? You don't. Chat room. I hate to do this, but I feel like it is getting a bit late, and I would like to soon go to sleep. So I'll have to wrap up my thoughts pretty soon. If Lars of the Stars reintroduce humans in the show, they better wield advanced weaponry such as laser guns and spaceships. Now that gem technology is certainly now more widespread. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they would have laser guns. I'm saying that a human projectile gun is the best weapon for gems. Why? Like, that's part of the reason we don't have laser guns in real life. Wait. I feel like there would be magical fucking weapons, though. Maybe not guns, but something magic. Maybe they would manufacture, like, summonable weapons. Looking forward to the test review stream. That's probably going to be multiple streams because I have over 600 essays to grade now. Alright. I'm going to finish up my Ultraman Sodi, which I haven't finished yet. And then I'm going to sleep. I'm grading the entire school. I don't have deans to do the grading. Or not deans, but I have too many kids in my class. Good night, chat members. It has been fun However, I must sleep.